Hello, everybody. Welcome to Roll and Move Live. Thanks for joining us this Sunday evening. We are a little starting a little late this week, so for those of you who are coming in, just watch the season finale of Game of Thrones. Welcome. For those of you who didn't watch the episode yet, spoiler alert: a bunch of characters you love died horrific deaths, and evil went unpunished. I haven't seen the show yet. I'm just taking a guess. But we are joined here today by, as always, you know him as the Retro Board Gamer from Board Game Breakfast. Welcome our co-host, Asdruval. Asdruval, how are you doing today?
Hello, Kirk. I am doing fine, and you know it's Sunday night, and I'm going to be watching Game of Thrones right after this.
Yep. Same here.
All right. And joining us today, very excited to have him back on the show. Friend of ours from, from Dice Tower, from Board Game Corner. Please welcome Mark Streed.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me back on the show, guys. This will be awesome.
Thanks so much for coming back, Mark. It's really great to have you.
Yeah, anytime.
All right. Now, we're going to get, obviously, today we're going to be talking about GenCon, and, we'll do some things before that. But before we get into that, Asdruval, I'm too excited. I don't want to bury the lead here. We did it, buddy. We got it done.
Fireball Island, baby.
Yeah.
Finally.
It's gonna be
finally
awesome.
happening. I don't know. I was at work. Was it Friday? I think it was Friday afternoon.
Yep.
And I wasn't expecting the announcement to come that early. I didn't know when the Dice Tower show was going to be recorded. But I was at work and I was just checking Twitter and I saw Restoration Games say, "Oh, we're making our announcement soon." So I just kept it on my desk and I was hitting refresh, and then it happened and Twitter just melted down and it was awesome.
It was by far on Restoration Games' website the #1 game requested is Fireball Island.
Nice.
Number 2, Dark Tower.
Yeah.
So they've been working really hard to try to get the rights, and they finally did it.
That's
awesome.
Phenomenal.
Yep. Yeah, Mark. I don't know if you that's kind of an ongoing thing on the show. Since day one, since Asdruval told me about his involvement in Restoration Games, as soon as the words were on his lips, I said Fireball Island. Get it done, make it happen, and he made it happen. Asdruval, I'm proud of you. Good job, buddy.
Right
Good
there.
job. So, Mark, were you at the live Dice Tower recording as well?
Well, so Roy from Epic Gaming Night and we were there for the first half or so, and then we had to go. Someone had to be at the booth.
Okay.
So we missed that part of what happened, but it was cool being Roy was taking tickets and I was handing out raffle tickets. So we literally got to meet the entire audience, and it was really a blast.
Cool. Awesome.
That was really, really fun, just meeting everybody. And everybody's like, "Oh, we love your stuff." It was so much fun. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that because when I was walking to the convention and, people would stop and say, "Hey, I love your segment."
Yeah.
And I am not kidding you. They said, "Do you know Mark Streed?" And I said, "Yes, I do. He is the nicest guy in board gaming." I said, "Yes, he is."
Well, that's Asdruval. I don't know if you remember, we had Robert on to talk about Origins. He was telling us about the Dice Tower booth at Origins, and he said everybody was coming to see Mark. That's everybody. Right. Everybody was there for Mark. Nobody cared about Tom or Z. Is like, "Where's Mark Streed? I want to meet Mark Streed."
That was a blast at Origins. We had a good time.
I meant to stop by and say, in fact, I walked by you at one point at Origins. You looked like you were deep in conversation. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I wanted to come talk to you because I got to at Origins. I got the demo element, and I was really excited about it. I liked it. It was a really fun game.
Good.
And I wanted to talk to you about it, but I didn't get a chance, and I didn't get a chance to come back to the booth, so I was upset I didn't get to see you. But I got to play Element. That was fun.
Yeah, well, we should talk a little Element too.
Awesome. Yeah, we will. Yeah. Well, let's talk first about what games have you guys been playing lately. And Mark, I'll start with you. Whether at GenCon or since you got back, what are some games that have been hitting your table?
So many, right? So. And I happen to have a lot more time right now. So, so the deal is I've been playing, a lot of Too Many Bones. I've been playing Citadel of Time from Passport, Triplock, Tiny Epic Quest, Mountains of Madness, Edge of Humanity. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Those are the latest anyway. I feel like I'm forgetting something. But yeah, I mean, those are the main ones. that
Mark, let me just interrupt you there. Mountains of Madness. How are you liking that? Because there's not a lot of love out on the airwaves for that one.
So this is one of those games, right? If you don't play with the right group, it's going to totally fall flat. So I happened to play with an amazing group, and we were at the yellow party at GenCon, and I got to play with Allison Hayslip from all kinds of things, G4 TV, and so she's Yellow's new spokesperson, kind of, I believe.
She is the brand ambassador.
That's what it is, yes. And then a bunch of the other, some other podcast guys, and it was an amazing experience. And it was just total insanity, which is implied by the name, right? You literally have crazy, just insane madnesses that you all have to act upon. And, if you get in a group where they're like, they're not really into it, then it's just not going to be fun. It truly is just a big party game. I mean, and we made it out. We escaped just barely, but we did it. But it was, what's really fun is that you have to try and figure out what the madness somebody is, to try to figure out the info to get the right cards to achieve and go up the mountain. It really, and I can understand why not everybody would like it, because again, if not every single person is engaged and fully committed, it's just not going to work. You have to be committed to those madnesses and really just jump in with both feet and just be as zany as possible. And that's where the fun comes in, so.
Right. What do you think about replay value for that game?
Yeah, so that's going to be a very interesting thing, because I played with two groups now, and both groups have been really into it. We'll see if I can get my home group back into it again. I don't think it's the game that you'd play every week, but you play once a month or something, and everybody had a really good time, right? So, and it's just a bunch of crazy nonsense happening, and everybody genuinely had a good time though. And granted, it's not going to be for everybody, because if you're a Euro player or something like that, you're not going to probably be jumping in with both feet. But, you really have to commit to those roles to make it fun. So.
Right. I wouldn't imagine that, really hardcore Euro players would even enjoy that.
Not even remotely. It's definitely not a game for everybody. But I had a blast. And Allison, oh my gosh, she is an incredible player for that game. She's all in all the time. And she was so excited and so much energy. She had us all up off the table. Nobody was sitting. Everybody was just totally engaged. It was really a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So, cool.
How many players did you have at the table?
Let's see. 5 of us, I think. I'm trying to remember. Actually, I can tell you real quick. Let me pull up. I think I have that photo handy. It's 5 or 6 of us. Let me look here real quick. Yeah, I'm not finding it. I think that it's 5 or 6, something like that.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly.
How many does that play up to? What's the max player count on
that? No, there were 5 of us. Sorry, there were only
okay.
5 of us. So that might be the max. I'll have to double check. But
okay,
that's all I've ever played with was 4 and my home group, and then 5 at GenCon. So
very cool.
Yeah, and I can't imagine it would be any. I think it's a 4-player plus game.
Okay.
I don't think you could do as well with 2 or 3. I just don't think there's enough happening. I don't know. I have to try it.
From your description, it sounds like you probably need a pretty big group for that.
Yeah, it's really more fun too. I mean, it's really
to get the full experience out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yep.
Asdruval, how about you? What's been on your table this past couple weeks?
I got my shipment because I had to ship stuff home from GenCon. They wouldn't fit in my bag, I traveled very light,
That's good.
My wife says, "Well, where's all your clothes?" I said, "No, just the bare minimum. I need a stuffed game from here."
Just a couple white T-shirts, right?
Exactly. So, Downforce is so much fun. Gosh,
I can't wait.
I mean, I know. You can literally. The game is so easy to teach, but yet it's accessible to everybody. Hardcore gamers like it. Not hardcore gamers like it. I mean, it's a great game. I mean, granted that I explained the game in 4 days about 1 million times, but I just really enjoyed that game, and that's all I've been playing the last 3 or 4 days is Downforce, Indulgence, and Stop Thief. And Stop Thief is amazing. You know, I'm really apprehensive with my feelings on apps and games, Kirk, but you know, this mixes it in so well, you know, and I'm so happy that they did this, and they even got a retro mode where it has the old sounds.
Oh, cool!
And you can actually play with your old board. So it's really cool. So that's all that's been hitting the table the last couple of days is those 3 games.
Well, that's cool. I have those in a stack, and I'm ready to play them. I can't wait to try them out. And I have a local convention this next coming weekend, so I'll be taking them all with me. But I have a really... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
I was going to say I have a really fun story about getting the games home. Is that I did not have enough space, and it was super expensive to ship my stuff. So I went over to TJ Maxx, and I'm looking at suitcases, and they're like $60 and up. I'm like, oh man! But over in the corner was this hot little pink number, and it was $30, and it was huge. And I'm like, this is going to be mine. And I barely got everything home. Both suitcases were like 49 point something pounds. And my backpack, which was the overhead, it was jam packed. And then I had a day pack that was jam packed that went under the seat.
So, Mark, I was going to ask, is that, you kind of mentioned you're going to go to one more convention this year? Or?
Yeah, so BCon is this weekend, which Sean Brown for Mr. B Games does it locally in Denver, Colorado. And he's teaming up this year with a Conclave of Gamers, which they used to do their own thing, but they're kind of combining forces this year because Conclave has a huge library of games. But we're gonna do kind of a live Dice Tower-esque show and have some trivia stuff and give away some games. And we're gonna have Richard Lanius is gonna be there. We're gonna have Mike Fitzgerald there. So it's gonna be a really good time. And Board Game Corner we are the media sponsor for the show. So
awesome.
Yeah, so that's gonna be really fun. And then I hope to go to PAX with the Dice Tower this year. We'll see if that works out, but maybe.
And where is that located at?
The PAX Unplugged is in Philadelphia, right? So
Philadelphia. Okay.
Yep. So I hope to make that trip. And then we have the Extra Life event that we do, which is the 24 hours of gaming, which we're going to try. I think we're going to spend it over a weekend this year. And I'm hoping that we're going to get Chaz Marler out for that one. That'll be pretty fun. So as our guest. Yeah. So those are kind of the upcoming things I'm going to be doing. But
awesome.
So I was going to ask, did you have a game at GenCon that was a surprise that you didn't know about that you're excited to play or see or got to play?
Well, if Kirk is going to say something about the games he's been playing, but I think that we'll say that for the next little segment. But I will answer your question, Mark, as soon as Kirk talks.
Sure.
Oh,
no, that's fine. I don't have any stories as exciting as you guys by far. I'm looking here. August has not been a great month for me as far as getting games to the table. I got a new. I didn't realize this was a new game. I was at the shop with my son, and he brought me this game and asked me to pick it up. He just liked the look of it. It's called POW. It's a Reiner Knizia game.
Yeah.
And I thought it just looked like a little kid game, like kind of just something. Again, it was cheap and it's superhero themed. I'm a sucker for that. So
nice.
I was like, yeah, we'll pick it up and try it out. And it's actually kind of a cool little game. It's a dice game, and you're drafting with your dice heroes and villains. And the heroes are positive points, and the villains are negative points. But you have to draft both pretty equally because if you, at the end of the game, how much higher you stack the tiles as you pick them up, and however much higher your stack of heroes is, you remove those so you have even stacks. So for a simple little dice game, there's a lot of strategy of which cards to take, which heroes, which villains to pick up. And it's actually pretty competitive. I was surprised by it. the few times I've played it, so far it's a little too luck based. There seems to be just it's kind of like what you roll win. But I've been told there's some strategy you can use to overcome that, so I'm excited to try that out and play that.
Cool.
And I got to play Scoville for the first time. I'd never played that.
So good.
And I was surprised because you look at it, it's like a colorful, a little kind of whimsical. We're planting chilies, peppers, see what happens. But I mean, there's so much decision making in that game.
Yes.
And just every step is a decision. And I liked it, but it's one of those games where it's like, okay, I'll play that again in a while. But I mean, my brain kind of is, no pun intended, it was a brain burner because
definitely.
Just of all the choice, but I mean, it's a beautiful looking game, very cool. I love the way it looks on the table, fitting in the pieces and everything.
I like it as well, but I am terrible at it.
Me too. Yeah, I did. I think I came in second or third, and I was shocked by that. Like, I had no idea that I would win. That wasn't even in my radar. But I wanted to be respectful, and I did. But it's one of those games where you're just so many different combinations. Really, really intense game. But that's about it. Like I said, I haven't, just because real life stuff has been preventing me this month from getting a lot of stuff to the table. So it's been few and far between.
Yeah.
But those are two memorable games I've played these past couple weeks, and that's all I got to say. So Asdruval, go ahead. If you want to answer Mark's question now about your surprise.
Well,
we'll get right into
I'm
that.
going to talk about a major disappointment that I had.
Oh, okay.
Major disappointment. I was really excited for Shark Island.
Yeah.
The theme really, I like the movie Jaws, and it kind of looked like that. And they had a beautiful booth. It looked like a beach, basically.
It was amazing.
They were wearing lifeguard vests. It looked like a beach. So in the little minute time that I had, in between the booth and demos, I got to play around. And I did not enjoy it at all. I mean, I like the dice cup is a little buoy.
Oh, yes.
That was really cool. The artwork is amazing, but the mechanic where you find the shark and then you flip over a card and basically you're playing like 21. You gotta go to a certain number to attack the shark. It kind of lost me there a little bit. So that was a major disappointment for me, Shark Island, but their booth was beautiful.
Yes. And I didn't get to play it. I just saw it, right? And I got a copy, but I'll be interested to try it out because I don't have any expectations for it, really. So
Who's the publisher on that?
That's Upper Deck.
That's Upper Deck.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, one afternoon, I think it was Thursday at GenCon, Sam grabs me, Sam Healy, and he's like, "Hey, you want to play a game?" I said, "Well, I'm I'm on the schedule. I got to film and I got to do all the Twitters and And he's like, "Well, hold on a sec." So he calls Tom. He goes, "You're with me now." All right. So we go off to play this game, and it's from Golden Egg Games, Edge of Humanity. And man, I love this game. It was so good. It's a deck builder, but it's got some really unique things to it. It's a story-driven game, and they have, in the box comes 3 different stories, and they're all some sort of terrible apocalyptic thing. One is a virus, one is nuclear war, and the other one is aliens, I think. Yes, aliens. So the cool thing about this game is that if you have your deck, and how typically you have to thin your deck in deck builders to get to the good stuff. This one is interesting because the events, along with the story, force you to thin your deck in potentially ways that you don't want to. And it really is interesting because it's got some really neat decision making to it. Really, really enjoying it. And it's other things that you get resources to build buildings, and those resources go under the buildings as you're building them. But then once you use them to build the buildings, they are trashed from the game. They don't just go back to your discard pile to use again later. They're out of the game. So there's some, like I said, some really interesting things going on, and the storytelling is pretty neat. and it really is something to check out for sure. So
cool.
Now you were saying that it has 3 different stories, you said?
Yes, totally 3, and it uses the same system for the 3 different stories.
So once you're done with the story, can you go ahead and play it again, or you
Yes.
already
Oh,
know
yes.
what's gonna? Okay.
Oh no, even if you know what's going to happen, you can still play it again.
Okay, so I was just gonna kind of compare it to like time stories. Once it's done, it's done. It's not
done.
like that, right?
No, it's not like that because you never know what's going to be in your hand. You don't know what cards you're going to get from the pool. You don't know how things are going to come about. And then, between the 3 scenarios, things change. Like in one scenario, you get weapons and ammo, and the others you don't. And games are very different between the different scenarios. And I think their plan is to release 2 new stories every year. So, and they're going to be using the system to do other games as well. So I'm pretty excited about this game. I really, really enjoyed it. And it was one of those, I had no idea. I hadn't heard about it, didn't know anything about it. And Sam knew the designer, and that's how I got hooked into it. And you gotta check this out. And so he gave me a copy, and I've been playing it, and I love it. And Sam and I played like every night almost. And both him and I were close, neck and neck, and we even got Alex from Dukes of Dice to come play one night. And it was just really, really fun, really, really fun. So
awesome. When's that released,
I think that I don't know if it's in distribution yet or what, but it should be out this year. So
awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Well, while we're on the subject of games at GenCon, Asdruval, besides obviously besides all the restoration stuff, is there anything that you played or you liked that surprised you in a positive way?
Well, here's the thing with GenCon. This was my first time there. I was completely overwhelmed with how many people were there. My gosh,
it's insane.
It's insane. It was insane. Yeah. So like I said, if I wasn't working at the booth, I was off doing a demo. And then when the hall closed, we only had an hour to restock before, they kicked us out. But then there was a bunch of, there was a lot of side events, running throughout the night, the day, whatever. But I was just really too tired to do any of them,
Sure.
And I was bummed out because I wanted to hang out with the Dice Tower guys, and I wanted to come back to see you, but it was just I was exhausted, literally.
I understand, man.
Yeah. Every time I went back to the booth from either the hotel or from the demo that I was running, I would try to go like a different way to check things out.
Check things out, right? Yeah, so, I think I spend an average of 12 to 15 miles of walking every day.
Oh, you timed yourself on your phone?
Yeah, on my phone. I checked it every day.
Wow.
It was insane. It was a lot of walking. There was one game that I wanted to try out. Bob Ross, The Art of Chill.
Really?
Yes. They actually had a guy that looked like Bob Ross.
I know they did.
See, it's okay. Oh, wait, let me explain, Mark. Hold on. I'm always looking for games that my wife might be interested in because she's not a big game player. So I have she's a quilt maker, so I got Patchwork. She likes that.
Perfect.
Okay, so she's also a painter and she likes Bob Ross. So that's a double.
That's
there.
right.
So they didn't have any for sale.
No.
They did. Dan King did a review on it, and he liked it a lot. It's a really interesting game. So I just wanted to mention that I saw the Bob Ross lookalike, and it was so funny.
Yeah, I saw the game, and I didn't play it, but it just didn't appeal to me just looking at it. But we'll see. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those games that may just ride off the theme and the name attached to it, or it may be something good. It may be a surprise. Who knows?
Might be.
Did either of you play one of the games that I was hearing about that kind of intrigued me? I really didn't see any videos or anything, but anybody made about it. Did any of you play or see or hear about? I think it's called Coaster Park, the marble game.
I did not see it. Nope.
No, I heard them talking about it on the Dice Tower live show, but I didn't, know where their booth was at or what company was even making it. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
yeah, and I was all over the floor, doing Twitter and Instagram, and I don't remember seeing it at all. So I mean, I know the guy that we talked about it, but I just didn't see it. So
yeah. Cool. All right, well, let's talk a little more about just your Gen Con experience in general. And if you're watching live and you want to, you got any questions for Asdruval or Mark, put those in the chat section there. Or if you have any, want to share your own stories, we'd love to hear those as well. But Asdruval, I'll start with you. Excuse me. Being a first timer, working the restoration booth, you always shared a little bit. But what was your overall experience at Gen Con? What did you in and out of the booth? What were your feelings and thoughts on it?
It's a great convention. I think if you're gonna be there as an attendee, I don't know if it's as great if you're gonna be working there because, like I said, there was so. I mean, even the people that bought 4-day badges, you can't see it all.
No,
it's impossible to see it all. I mean, and I think, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but this year they opened up the stadium.
Yeah,
they were out there in the stadium.
It was crazy, cool, super cool. Did you make it out and check it out?
I very briefly. I wanted to check out they had a museum there.
Yeah. Yep.
Can you talk a little bit about that? What you saw out there in the museum?
Well, it was one of those, again, for me as well, that I got over there for maybe I was maybe over there for 15 minutes because I literally had the camera and I would just film stuff and get in and out and do all this B-roll. So I didn't get to spend a lot of time there, but they had a bunch of stuff from like previous Gen Cons and things of that nature. And then it was huge open for gaming. I mean, just amazing amount of gaming going on in there.
They were playing on the football field, right?
Yeah. And they had markers like, this is the 50-yard line. And it was pretty cool. So I kind of got to walk through it like briefly, right, and walk around it. And then I just didn't make it back because literally, like you, I was working for the Dice Tower. I was in the booth or roaming the main floor to do photos and stuff or video. And then we even did stuff, outside the hall there. And Cardhalla and all that stuff get filmed. And then we were doing we had 3 questions we would ask people, things of that nature too. So I literally was like in and out of most places. It wasn't like I didn't get to spend a lot of time in any of them. And then in the evenings, it was just, we would either try to play something, or we'd always try to go to dinner and just hang out with the Dice Tower crew in general. So after the hall closed, it was pretty nice because we had some nice downtime just to hang out. So
right.
And for me, Gen Con, it's so rare to play games. So when I got to play a whole game of Edge of Humanity, which was amazing, I usually anything I play at Gen Con is, let's play a hand or let's play a round. It's never play a whole game. So that's pretty unique for me. And really, Gen Con is a networking experience. It's for me anyway. It's more about that than the games and just meeting the people. So many people coming up saying thank you and wanting photos and just want to chat. And I love that. It's just it energizes you and just makes you want to do more content. People really are appreciative of what we do. So
I know. I totally agree with you. I mean, just walking from one spot to another, you're getting stopped along the way. And, I'm like a nobody on the outside world, but I didn't realize how many people watched, Blender, the Dice Tower that know about me. It was a little overwhelming.
It is. It's pretty cool. I have to say it's really, really energizing, and just I feel super honored that people even care. They're like, "Hey, it's Mark," and I'm like, "Hey," and that they actually genuinely want to talk to you and say thanks. It's just really encouraging, and
that's awesome.
And if anybody's watching, just big thanks for stopping and saying hi. Really, really is the highlight of the convention. Is that it really is for me? That's the biggest, coolest, best part.
Cool. So I have an interesting story on how massive the convention is. That every time that me and my brother, because my brother went with me, that we would go back to the hotel. I mean, every hall looked exactly the same way. We would always exit someplace different and be completely lost. For 4 days, we didn't know where we were going.
Yep.
We'd walk outside and goes, I don't remember any of this. And then it took us like 15 minutes every day to find the right path. So that's how massive it is, you know. By the last day, we're okay. We're going to remember which way we're going now.
Right.
But then it was too late. All that time spent already, you know.
Yep. The other cool thing, too, for me is that generally when I go to conventions with the Dice Tower, Z is my roommate, and that's a blast. I mean, literally going to conventions and hanging out with the Dice Tower guys, it's like being at camp. You know, as a kid, we have so much fun. You know, staying up late, talking, doing whatever, playing games. Just really is also just a highlight of the experience. It's really fun.
Awesome.
And Z is amazing. He's just so
Right.
He's one of the best guys. So
cool.
So Kirk, I'd like to expand on a couple of games that I didn't get to purchase because they were all sold out. Is that okay?
Sure. Oh yeah. Absolutely good.
Custom Heroes by AEG.
mm-hmm.
By the time I got to go buy one, they were already sold out.
Yep.
A really interesting concept, trick-taking with the card crafting system.
Right.
Kind of really piqued my interest. I'm a big fan of Mystic Vale. So I was looking forward to that one.
Did you get to demo that one at all?
I didn't even get to demo it either.
Yeah.
Another one. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kirk.
No, I'm curious about that one because I personally am not a huge fan of Mystic Vale. Love the idea and the concept. Not a huge fan of the execution. So I want to see a different version of that same mechanic and see how it works differently.
Yeah, totally different version.
I am full agreement on that. I was not a super huge fan of Mystic Vale, so I'm excited to see what this one is.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, another one that was a hot seller. I think they sold out the first day. Clank in Space.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard a lot about that.
So what's different about this is the board is now modular. You can move it around in different areas. So that's a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that I wanted to buy that I didn't get to, they probably sold out the first day. Flip Ships, a little dexterity game. Heard a lot of buzz about that one. Got to play a couple rounds. It's actually more difficult than what I thought it would be.
Right? It's crazy. It's so fun though.
It's fun but difficult.
Yeah.
Tiny Epic Quest. I wanted to buy that too because that
so
could fit in my bag. Didn't even get a chance to do that. I really like how you put the little weapons in the little meeples. That's a really nice touch.
Did you see my Blender segment for that this week?
Yes, I did. That was a good one. And Captain Sonar. I don't really want to buy Captain Sonar because from what I understand, it's the best to play with 8 people.
Yes, absolutely.
That know what they're doing, you know.
Yes.
And I can never get together 8 people. So they came out with a game called Sonar, which is a Target exclusive. They're only going to be selling at a Target. And basically it's a stripped down version that can be easily taught with 4 players. So I'm definitely excited about Sonar to go pick that up.
I want to check that out too. Yeah, I watched. I'm the same boat with you, Asdruval. I getting 8 people together for me is miraculous if it happens. So that's not really a game that's realistically on my radar. But I don't know if you guys saw the Discriminating Gamer. They did basically a live playthrough of it, and they made it look like so much fun. And it's a game I don't know when or how I'd get to play that, but I definitely want to. That's definitely what I like. I'm excited now. I hadn't heard about Sonar, so I'll check that out. At least get a taste of it.
Man, Captain Sonar is so good though with 8. I just don't know because it's worth having. Even if you schedule out one evening a year, it is just an incredible amount of fun.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get somehow, maybe at a meetup somewhere, someone will be playing it. Like I said, like my personal groups, we usually don't get those kind of counts, so it's not going to be realistic. But maybe somewhere I'll get to try that out. And Flip Ships, I don't know if they were selling it at Origins, but they were demoing it. And that's one of the ones I kind of looked at, maybe I'll check that out. And I never got back to it. I didn't get a chance to check it out. And I really regret it now because I've heard so much about it since. Yeah, and sounds like a lot of fun.
Mark, have you had a chance to play that one?
Yep. Like it a lot. I played it with Dan King at Origins. Really fun. Really, really fun. And I'm terrible at it, but it was great.
It has that Space Invaders feel to it, you know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I'm a huge Clank fan, so space is yes, just yes. Period.
Yeah, that looks like I haven't seen anything about it. That sounds like a lot of fun. Mark, were there any other games that even if you weren't able to check them out, that maybe caught your attention that you're going to be seeking out later on?
Wow, I got a lot of what I really wanted. Mm-hmm. There's always something, right? But I'm super excited. I'm still super excited about Too Many Bones because that game is just awesome. And I got a new game from Mighty Boards that were I think I can't remember the name of the company. Sorry, it's called Vengeance. They did Post-Human,
Okay.
and I know the designer Gordon, and this is his next game, so I'm really excited to try this out. He gave me kind of a quick overview. It truly is about vengeance. It's almost kind of that Kill Bill kind of thing almost. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't played it yet, so I don't have a real good feel for it yet. But it's a big box with lots of miniatures game. So very, very excited to try that. And
Mark, speaking about miniatures, did you get to check out the new Star Wars miniature-based game?
Yes. Did you get to play it?
I didn't. I just kept walking by. You know, the Fantasy Flight booth was just always
insane.
Packed.
Yeah. I gotta be there for just like a round of play. And it's definitely, if you are an X-Wing fan, you're going to love this game because it's all about those battles, and it's got the really nice the measure with the jointed measuring sticks, whatever you call them. I can't think of the name. But there's a lot of tactics going on there. So just miniature battles at one of its finest. And being that it's Star Wars, you know, I have to wonder if it's just going to be, you know, Fantasy Flight has Rune Wars, but I still have to wonder if this is going to be a Rune Wars killer. I mean, it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's going to throw a shadow over everything else. It just looks amazing. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, let me ask you guys about. I want to get just an idea of your booth experience. I know you guys, spent, especially you guys, will spend a lot of time in the booth. Mark, you're moving around a little bit more, but I know you were in the Dice Tower booth.
Yep.
So I'll ask you first. And you've already you have given us, told us a little bit about it. But what was it like working the booth there with the Dice Tower with all those people? And I know it seems like they're growing every year. Kind of expands. There's more, more contributors involved. So what was it like being there? With all the, kind of like the Mount Rushmore of board game content creation, being a part of that. What was that like?
It's just an amazing experience. And not only just from the fans coming up and talking to all of us, people just genuinely really excited to talk to you and be there and see all the Dice Tower promos. And they have so many questions about, what game is this for? Really enjoy that. And then just the interaction with the guys, right? With Eric and Z, Sam and Tom, and we're there interacting with them and the fans. And just, there's this whole, again, like I said, it's like being at camp with all your best friends kind of thing. It's just I feel really honored to be part of that group of guys and that they genuinely want me there and include me in convention experiences. And I, again, can't thank Tom enough. But it really, again, just interacting with the fans is really what is the coolest part of it, really. So, and all the photos, people want photos, and you just doing really fun stuff like that. So a lot of appreciation.
I got to imagine it's, for you guys, with it, Asdruval used the word overwhelming. It's an overwhelming experience. A lot of these people coming in. I got to imagine when they see you there, or even you, Asdruval, over in the restoration booth. That's kind of like almost like an oasis. Like, I know these guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's a familiar face. Yep. And I thought probably a comfort for a lot of people to see you guys there, be able to talk to you, and kind of get their bearings in this giant thing that's going on.
Right. Yep. And it really. Just how appreciative they were is really fun. And we had this really cool, huge dice tower that Broken Token had made for us. And we had the oversized dice, and we had all these prizes. If you you threw them all in the tower, and if you got 3 of a kind, you would get something. And if you rolled 2 20s, then you could pick anything you wanted. And just running the tower and having fans come over and do that was so much fun.
Sure.
Yeah, really enjoyed that part of it.
Awesome.
So, yeah, and interacting with all the other contributors too. Just being there on site with everybody that you talk with over our through the year, and collaborate with. It's just great to be in person with everybody, like Rob Warren, and just so many of the different contributors. So
yeah, I actually got to meet Rob Warren and talk to him for a second. The guy is even huger in person.
Massive.
He is massive. I mean, his bicep is as big as my head.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, for me, Kirk, our booth was way in the corner, in a little 10 by 10.
Let me ask you a question. Go ahead, I'm sorry, Mark.
It was always busy though when I went by.
Yeah, there was always people there.
Yep.
We really couldn't run any demos there. We just kind of ran through a couple of turns. But we got to do demos in the other hall where you had to do the ticket thing, buy those generic tickets. So that's where we ran our demos. But yeah, it was always packed, and people just wanted to know mainly about Downforce. I mean, all the games sold pretty well, but Downforce was flying off the shelf.
Yep.
I got my spiel down to 2.5, 3 minutes of how to explain the game. And, like I said, I never talked about a game so much before in my life. In those 4 days, it was insane. And just the people, like Mark said, the people coming up and, we were talking, old games, what they'd like to see. And then when we made the announcement Friday afternoon, the Friday and then the Saturday, everybody was just talking about that.
That's something I wanted to ask you about. Once you did make the announcement, like I said, social media blew up. What was the energy at the booth after that? Because I was really happy to see online the response. So many people were excited about that game. What was the response at the show? What was the energy like in the booth once that happened, with people coming in, asking questions, looking to find out more?
A lot of people that I would say about 75% of the people just heard about Fireball Island. They never actually played the game. The gameplay itself isn't really that great. The funnest thing about the game is just rolling the marble down and knocking over other people. That is like the core essence of the game. Okay.
It is, yeah.
So the 25% of people that actually still have the game, they were telling us, what we should put in, because we were kind of asking people, what is your most favorite part of the game? Everybody said rolling the marble down the different paths, the funnest part of the game. I mean, it was just, everybody was very excited about that they're going to restore it, and just overall happiness that they don't have to pay, $300 to get it online,
Right.
And I'm glad too, when I heard you guys were doing some updates on it, I was really excited about that because, I feel like for me and for like those people are saying, like, I think there's 2 audiences here. One, people who actually played the game originally, and then people who've just heard about it. It's kind of like an urban myth to them. I think that for me, it's like I probably have like a lot of nostalgia feeling for that. And when I go back and play it, if I played the base game, I'd probably be kind of like, eh. So I'm glad you guys are doing little updates. So like through my modern board gaming eyes, it'll maintain that level. And then for younger players, I feel like they're going to get like a more modern experience. So I think it sounds like that's what you guys are going for. So I'm excited for it.
And Justin Jacobson, the president of Restoration Games, explains it very well. What we're doing with all these games, we're taking the core part of what was fun, what we remember, throwing everything else out, and then cracking it up to 11.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. I had the original back. I'm gonna date myself. I was in high school, and I remember playing with friends. We loved it. It was so much fun.
What happened to it, Mark? What'd you do with it?
Yeah, I'm sure it was one of the garage sales. My parents put it in. When I went off to college.
I had it too when I was a kid. I had it, and I remember those TV commercials. How excited I was to get it. I think I got it for Christmas, and it came out in '86, right?
86.
Yeah.
We moved soon after, so I think it must have just been one of the casualties of the move because I never saw it again at the new house. So it was one of those things. My mom probably just was like, yeah, we'll just put pieces are probably missing. Who knows? But yeah, I'm really glad to be seeing that back. And I mean, it's so cool now that I get to play with my kids. I mean, Asdruval, you saw my son's reaction when he found out about it. So I'm really excited to get to experience that with them now. Like you said, not pay $500. When I first told about it, he's like, "Oh, Dad, let's go get it." And I was like, "Oh, it's $500." He's like, "Oh, let's get it anyway." I'm like,
"That's awesome."
So yeah, really excited about that. And for you guys, I'm guessing, at least for you, Asdruval, I mean, this is the first time you really got to see the public response to restoration games in general, and what and what people thought about it. So that must have been exciting for you as well.
It was. It's they announced the company last year at the same stage, and then to actually put out products because the 3 games were released at GenCon. To actually see the products come to fruition, it was quite. They were Justin Jacobson and Rob Davio were really surprised that the Kickstarter did as good as it did, and just people were just buying the games. They were utterly surprised.
Cool, awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff for sure.
Yeah. Were there any? I'll just open the floor, both of you. Any final thoughts or any other stories, anecdotes you want to share? Any about your experience? What happened to you at the show?
Well, for me, I hope that I can go again. I don't know if I'd ever be able to make it like as a normal guest, as an attendee. Because it's just so expensive. Just to get there and just to be there, and the hotels and the food and the plane ticket, and it's a lot of money. But hopefully, I'll have another experience to go.
I want to ask, you said your brother was with you. When you guys weren't together, was he getting recognized as the retro gamer too?
He got a couple of people just came up to him and just started talking to him, and it's like, no, that's my twin brother over there.
That's awesome.
So it's like, yeah, he was for when I was doing demos, he was actually back at the booth because he was doing a lot of filming for them for restoration games. So he was back at the booth, and that's when that stuff happened. So when I was at the booth, he would like stand behind me way in the corner so he wouldn't get bombarded by the fans. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's awesome.
Mark, how about you? Any final post-mortem on GenCon 50?
Well, this was my 4th year. Yeah, wow. So I've been there the last 4 years, and it just gets bigger and better every year. And it's amazing how, at least for me, how so many new friendships in the hobby, and again, all the fan response has been phenomenal. And I love just hanging out like the guys at CMON. Hey, and they want me to come over and see all their stuff, and seeing Eric Lang and then Ignacy from Portal and Emerson too, right? Emerson Matsuzi. Love those guys. I love the interaction and how even at this current large state that we seem to be in, that everybody is still grounded, down to earth, personable, super nice, just an amazing amount of kind, genuine people in the hobby. So I think that's my big takeaway, is just there's so many great games, yes, but I think the people is what makes it so awesome.
Awesome. Cool. Very cool. Well, thank you guys both for sharing that with me. And I was kind of getting over all my jealousy of not being able to attend, and I'm feeling all that pride back up in me now. So this will be a rough week as I'm getting over that. But I do appreciate you guys both come on and share a lot of interesting stories. And it just sounds like you guys had a lot of fun. Before we do move on, Mark, I do want to talk to you about Element.
Yes.
Like I said, I actually got the demo at Origins. And then a couple weeks later, I went to a meetup, and somebody actually had a copy. And I haven't picked it up yet because I want to buy it to play with my family.
Yeah.
But I want to get borrow a copy at home because I'm not sure. It might be a little too abstract, and complex within the rules for them. So I'm not sure if they're going to like it. So I want to get them to play before I pick it up. But I really enjoyed it, and just really a great production value on that game. Really cool.
Right.
Really cool components on that.
Yep.
And so, I mean, how's it been? I know you guys had your label on that. How's the response been for that?
Huge. So I feel really, honored to be part of, Rather Dashing has been so good to us, and letting me just I saw the game a year before it came out. So just the response, and it's one of those apprehensive things like, oh man, I think this is going to be awesome. I love it. I would love to, have you guys put this in our Cornerstone collection, and they were all for it, and I had no expectations about getting our logo on the box, but that was Grant and Mike, and they're like, oh yeah, it has to be on there. And it's one of those things like, okay, we put our logo on this box. I hope everybody likes as much as we do. And the response, pretty much overwhelming, has been super positive for the game. So awesome. I feel really, really privileged to have that be our first of the Cornerstone collection. And again, all the guys at Rather Dashing are phenomenal people. So I will go out of my way to support them for sure. And their new game, Halfed, came out at GenCon, and I think the full release is in September. But it's also a really solid game. So the Rather Dashing, they're really just kicking it up, and they're doing amazing stuff. So Element, it works for me so well, and I love the 4-player aspect of it, because some people said, well, then it's too short, the game ends really quick. I'm like, really? Then are you not? Because it's not just going after your person. You have to go defend other people so you can get back to going after the guy you need to go after.
Yeah.
Things like that. So there's a lot to figure out and learn about that game, but I love that whole round robin kind of thing going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it took a while. We were playing it. Some of the guys took it because they kept he kept going after the guy that was attacking him.
Right.
And it's like, we're like, why are you doing that? And he's like, well, he's attacking. And it was just that natural response. I'm going to get back at you. And for him to go and, to try and wrap his head around, like, no, it doesn't matter if he's coming for you. Your job is to go after that guy. Just trying to, it's such a unique concept that, it did take a while for everybody to catch on to it, but it was still pretty cool.
Yep. I really hope they do like a special edition version of it, where it's like a marble board.
Oh yeah,
that would be phenomenal. I really hope that happens. And I know they're working on some expansions for it that are gonna have more elements. So
that'd be neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a game that could use that kind of treatment. Asdruval, have you seen it? Have you gotten to try that out yet?
I have not tried that out yet, but I've heard a lot about that.
Yeah. And Mark, do you guys have any other games? I'm assuming there's stuff in the pipeline. You guys are working on more, looking at more games for the Cornerstone collection.
Yes, absolutely. Always looking, and we have a few in mind that I can't spoil yet, but there's definitely more up and coming. So keep an eye out for sure.
Very cool, definitely. And I hope when it happens, you come back on and talk to us about that. I'd love to have you back
That'd be great.
to share with that. All right, guys. Well, before we go tonight, it is time for everybody's favorite game show, Stump the Chump.
Yeah, let's see if I cannot be as bad this time.
Well, I know last time, Mark, we hit you with some very specific topics, and the game's evolved a little bit since then.
Okay.
So, it's going to be a much wider variety. For reasons we won't go into, we're short on topics this week, so we're not going to do. Usually, what we've been doing, Mark, is you would each get to veto one category from the list. But since we have a shorter list this week, you guys will just you'll go with what's there. And I emailed you both lists earlier, so you should have it in front of you. And what we'll do is we'll go back and forth. You each pick one until we get to 10, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
All right, Mark, and you pick first. Which category would you like to go with first?
Sci-fi on TV.
All right. Asdruval?
Let's go with game shows.
Game shows.
Really?
All right. And Mark, your next one?
Comic books.
All right. Asdruval.
Let's go with adaptations.
Adaptations, okay. Mark, your next one?
Comic-Con.
Okay, Asdruval.
Theme parks.
Theme parks. Mark?
Wow. Okay. Let's see. I guess let's throw in some Lovecraft there.
Okay. Okay, and Asdruval, your next to last pick.
Let's go with celebrity gossip.
Okay, and Mark, your last pick.
Comebacks.
Comebacks. And Asdruval, finish us off.
Let's go with the royal family.
Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna. I'm out. I'm totally out on that one. You just have that one.
Okay. All right, and let me just get these sorted here. And let's see. Well, I'm doing this. This is usually where you would promote. Tell us about the Kickstarter for Fireball Island while I'm doing this. So this is our commercial break.
Yeah.
Well, they are hoping for the end of this year or the very beginning of next year to kickstart.
All right.
Fireball Island.
I'll tell you what.
I know for a fact that they're getting the guys that made the Mechs versus Minion inserts. What's that company called, Mark?
Yeah, that is Gamer Trays.
They're getting Gamer Trays to actually make the island.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Awesome.
Or do they have, and I know this might be something that you can't really talk about, but do they have an SRP in mind? Did they talk about that at all at the convention?
That I don't know about the SRP on that. I do not know, but I do know that there's going to be more ways to die on the island.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can go with that game to modernize.
Yeah, so
I'm excited to see what their which direction they go or direction.
Yeah, I might be jumping the gun a little bit, but I think the entire title is Fireball Island: The Curse of Volcar.
That's what I saw at all the promotion.
Okay.
I wanted to get one of those postcards they had and blow it up and hang it up, but
right.
I didn't have the time to get that done. Maybe I'll get that for the next show. All right, let me just get something else here real quick.
I got you a set of those postcards, so I'm going to mail them to you.
Awesome, thank you. I was excited to see that. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, they're very cool.
All right. And I just got to do one last thing here before we go, guys. Mark, do you have anything you'd like to promote while I'm trying to stall here?
Oh, I'm in the middle of working on I'm starting to do rules videos for some folks. So
okay.
The first one I'm working on is for Calliope Games. So we look to see more of that coming from Board Game Corner as well. And then I potentially, hopefully, there might be some stuff in the works with Dice Tower. Might be doing more stuff there. So we'll see. I don't know.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Oh, right, there's one thing. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
We've had several people ask us about when's the Board Game Corner podcast going to start, and we're in the next couple weeks. We're going to kick off the first episode. So, yep, excited to do that.
Awesome.
Yep.
That sounds like a cool. And they got I know one of the big announcements at the show was that they Suzanne and Mandy are hosting the podcast now.
They're doing there's going to be some additional stuff there as well. So yeah, they're great. If you haven't listened to the first episode, it's really good with the two of them. They're awesome.
Is it them two and Eric now, or is Tom still involved?
Tom's still being involved. So Tom and Eric are doing a different thing.
Okay.
So
it's just Mandy and Suzanne?
I believe that they're going to alternate weeks. So
they're going to alternate.
It's going to be Mandy and Suzanne one week, and then the next week
will be Tom
and Eric.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then Tom and Eric are talking about doing some additional different things beyond the podcast, so that'll be interesting as well.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
All right, guys, I am ready to get started here.
All right.
And so, Asdruval, I ask you to enter the Roll and Move Review Cone of Silence.
Okay, I'm out.
Oh boy.
Come on, man.
Funny.
Show behind the curtain there.
It's so funny.
All right, Mark. 10 questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I guess.
Okay, the first one.
All right.
In Doctor Who.
Yes.
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. I just got to get one other thing here. All right. In Doctor Who, what does TARDIS stand for?
Oh, okay. I do know this. And I can't just rattle off. Hold on. Let me think. Okay. I don't have the whole thing.
If you want to pass, you have the option to pass. If you want to pass and come back to it.
Oh, my wife is going to kill me. She probably remembers. I don't have all of it. I know part of it. So I'm gonna
pass or pass. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass.
Game shows. Who was the original primetime host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oh, was it Regis Philbin?
Correct.
Yes.
Comic books. In the comic books, not the movies.
Okay.
Who were the 5 founding members of the Avengers?
Oh, the original. Okay. Was it? So there was Vision, right? Was it Vision? I can't. It's been so long. All right, let me think. We definitely had. I'm gonna say Hulk still, Iron Man, Vision, and then we had Scarlet Witch, and I can't remember who else. I only got. Okay. I think I'm going to say those 4. I can't remember who else.
All right. Okay. That's incorrect.
Oh.
Okay. Adaptations.
Man, was I that far off completely?
Well, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Who wrote the novel American Gods? This is adaptations. Who wrote the novel American Gods, in which the TV show is based?
Neil Gaiman.
Correct. Comic-Con. What is the designation of the largest and most popular programming room at San Diego Comic-Con?
Oh, it is Hall H?
Correct. Theme parks. What Southern California theme park boasts such attractions as the Sierra Sidewinder, the Jaguar, and Le Revolution?
Oh, man. Is it? Is it Knott's Berry Farm?
Correct.
Yes.
H.P. Lovecraft.
Okay.
What is the name of the famous Book of the Dead featured in several of Lovecraft's stories?
Oh, man. I don't remember. Randy's going to kill me. I have to pass. I don't remember.
Pass? Okay, we'll come back to that one. Celebrity gossip. Recently, Chris Pratt separated from his wife. What is his wife's name?
Oh, Anna Faris.
Correct. Comebacks. Mel Gibson was nominated for Best Director in 2017 for which movie?
In 2017?
Mm-hmm. Movie came out in 16. He was nominated in 17.
Right. I do not remember.
Okay.
I can't think of it. Sorry.
All right. That's okay. The Royal Family. What is Kate Middleton's sister's name?
No idea.
All right.
I know nothing about the Royal Family.
The 2 you passed on, we can go back to this if you like. In Doctor Who, what does TARDIS stand for?
I only have part of it. That's the problem. I know it's relative dimension, time in relative dimension, something like that.
Incorrect.
Okay.
And H.P. Lovecraft, we'll try this one again. What is the name of the famous Book of the Dead featured in several of Lovecraft's stories?
Yeah, I don't remember.
All right.
It's gone. Okay. Nothing there.
Well, you got 5 correct, so you did much better this time. Big improvement for your last show.
I got like 1, not even 1 last time or something like that.
You didn't get too many. I'm not sure how many, but you did. Much better performance today. But
okay,
we'll get Asdruval in here, see how he does.
Wait, tell me. Oh, okay. I'll wait till the end.
All right. Okay. Back in order.
Man, you're gonna have to do really well because.
All right.
Sorry, I had a little trouble with the booth,
That's okay. Mark I'll tell you this. I won't tell you a score, but Mark had a much better showing this time. Big improvement from his last appearance.
Which wouldn't take a lot because I literally got one right last time.
All right, Asdruval, are you ready?
Oh, I'm going to try my hardest.
All right. Okay. Sci-fi and TV. In Doctor Who, what does TARDIS stand for?
Oh, jeez. Time and relative dimension and space.
Correct. Game shows. Who was the original primetime host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Regis Philbin.
Correct. Comic books. In the comics, not the movies, who were the 5 founding members of the Avengers?
Oh, jeez. Ant-Man, Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, and Wasp.
That is correct.
Nice work, yes.
Adaptations. Who wrote the novel American Gods, on which the TV series is based?
Oh, jeez. I watched that series, too. Pass.
All right. Comic-Con. What is the designation of the largest and most popular programming room at San Diego Comic-Con?
I don't know.
Theme parks. What Southern California theme park boasts such attractions as the Sierra Sidewinder, the Jaguar, and Le Revolution?
Knott's Berry Farm.
Correct. Lovecraft. In what is the name of the famous Book of the Dead featured in several of Lovecraft's stories?
I don't know.
Celebrity gossip. Recently, Chris Pratt separated from his wife. What is his wife's name?
Anna Faris.
Correct. Comebacks. Mel Gibson was nominated for Best Director in 2017 for which movie?
Oh, jeez. I don't know.
All right. And the royal family. What is Kate Middleton's sister's name?
Pippa.
Correct. Adaptations. Who wrote the novel American Gods, on which the TV series is based?
I don't know.
All right. Asdruval, you got 6. Mark got 5. So by the skin of your teeth, you pulled it off.
Okay, so let me take a stab. So the Lovecraft one, is it the Necrocomicon?
Right? That's close. Necronomicon?
Nomicon, yes.
Necronomicon? Yeah, I would have given that to you. But good show. Mark, fantastic showing there.
Yes.
Definitely redeemed yourself from your last episode.
However, I should have gotten the TARDIS one, which was dumb.
Yeah. So that's all right. You did good. Asdruval, congratulations. Your renewed winning streak continues, and we'll see how that goes next week.
One thing, Mark. Who's going to kill you that you didn't know the TARDIS?
My wife. She's going to be like, I knew that. She's going to say that exactly to me.
The Mel Gibson movie, for anyone who's curious, Hacksaw Ridge was the Mel Gibson movie.
Hacksaw Ridge, come on.
Yeah.
I've known that as well. Oh, my gosh. My daughter is going to kill me about that one.
You got a lot of explaining to do, Mark.
Yeah, I do.
Barely. Well, guys, before we go, I'll give you one last chance. Anything you want to share with the audience before we wrap up for the night?
Well, I just want to say... Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You go first.
Oh, it's going to be really fast. You can catch me on Board Game Blender every other Thursday. That's all I got.
That's right. And same here. You can catch me on every other Blender or every Blender every other Thursday. And, I was going to say, speaking of Blender, I worked on my Blender segment on Wednesday and Thursday of this last week. And I took my time and really got it good. And then I realized at 8 o'clock on Wednesday night that I had done the next episode. And I was texting Z going, oh crap. And so I literally stayed up until about 1 a.m. scrambling to do the segment for this week.
The correct one.
The correct one. Yeah. So anyway,
So when's that? When does that air?
At least you're already done with that one.
I'm already done, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has that most recent one, has that aired yet? Or is that
Yes, it was out last Thursday.
Was that last week's? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, we'll definitely check that out.
I featured Tiny Epic Quest. So.
Oh, cool. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I'll definitely go back and watch it. Yeah. And I had one other question for you guys. Did they film a video of the Dice Tower live show? Did they tape that, or was it just audio?
It's up today.
Is it up today? Cool. All right, I'll go check it out as well. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I'll let you know right now that on the audio podcast, they block out Alan Moon.
Yes,
but in the video, they let it run with just a bleep.
Okay, I heard. I'll check that out because I know there's a controversy. I saw on Twitter everybody's talking about Element. I don't know what it was, so
absolutely
that'll be interesting to go find out.
That was definitely an interesting conversation. The whole rest of the convention.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining me, guys. Again, Mark, thank you so much for coming on. It's always great to have you. Hopefully, we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
Asdruval, as per usual, great to have you. Thanks for coming on. Everybody, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Look for Board Game Corner, all the great stuff Mark does. Follow him on Twitter and all the other social medias, and us as well. And we'll see you next time. Have a good night.
Night, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.